Hello, everyone. It's May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. And I mean, normally we'll probably celebrate Mexico or our margaritas, but we have a different brand that doesn't really operate in Mexico. But we do have Sandals. We have Tevin. Tevin, how do you pronounce your name?
Kevin.
Tevin.
Yeah, like Kevin with a T.
So we're here to talk today regarding sandals and the Beaches brand. Thank you, Tevin, for coming and joining us. We're gonna wait for a little bit so people will start logging in. Yeah, I see that we have some people. People give us some highs and love, so we'll know that everyone's actually watching. So we're not talking to ourselves. We have Kristen, we have Kelly, we have a few people that are online. Sassy, yeah. So let's start. What's going on? What's going on with Sandals Beaches right now?
Well, currently, every all the resorts throughout the chain are currently closed, but we've been actually making some steps and headway in actually assisting our travel advisors and actually making their bookings and rebooking actually to get to our destinations. And during this time, we've actually been looking at ways to better the brand itself, Sandals and Beaches, that is. And we've also just came out with some new policies and procedures moving forward for both the brands once we reopen in June. Our scheduled or anticipated reopening dates are June 5th, and that's for all our islands except for the Bahamas. And we have two resorts in the Bahamas. That one is June 15th. So I just actually got these this morning. Moving forward with our disinfectants, it's going to be hospital grade disinfectants throughout the chain, Sandals and Beaches. For cleaning the rooms, we're actually going to be using UV LED lighting after the room is clean, just to make sure that everything is all sanitized and pretty much ready for the guests to come back into the room. We're going to be, for our airport transfers, we're actually going to be adding more transfers to limit the number of persons per transfer to the actual resorts. We're actually going to be adding fewer persons to each vehicle. That's only if you're not in a butler suite. Our butler get their own private transfers as well. So we're going to be also restricting the number of persons that are traveling in elevators moving forward. And then a new feature, which is huge and cool, we're actually going to be doing at-home check-ins now. So it's going to be possible for persons to actually check in before they even leave the states. Because I know some people, personally for me, I can't sleep once I know I'm leaving the country the next morning. It's
Mm.
like my brain is just like, I can't wait to go. So I know a lot of persons are going to be utilizing this moving forward, and all of our all the mainly shared areas, our general areas are going to be sanitized every 20 minutes. So that's from restaurants, the bathrooms, everything that's generalized. Open spaces for guests are going to be sanitized every 20 minutes.
So the online checking, they will get their room assigned beforehand, or they'll get a note. Do you have any idea how that would work?
No, as I said, we actually got this information this morning. So once we have our next conference call, we're actually going to get more information on this. We're not exactly sure how they're going to go about it as yet, but as I said, more information to come.
Yeah, I mean, people hear hospital grade disinfectant and they're impressed and they like it. I don't know what world we've run into that this is a sandal feature for a hospital grade disinfectant.
Hmm.
But I guess this is the new reality that we're
Yeah,
getting
it
into
is.
right now.
It is the new norm. So we have to pretty much take the precautions because our biggest fear is actually moving forward and getting anyone sick while they're on property. And that's actually, since I've been home, I've been doing a lot of webinars through various mediums, just watching each island do their webinars and what their procedures are. And we actually got a huge question. And I love the question. And it was on the Antigua Tourism Board. And one of the travel advisors asked, what are the islands doing moving forward? And also, will the islands be accepting persons traveling from the US? Because we've been badly affected here. And That's a tricky question, and it's a good question to ask as well, because some you can only speculate. Some people are going to be they're going to want to be like, oh, we're not, they might not want to accept us as because we're from the US and stuff like that, because they're not as badly affected as we are. But I actually the director of tourism there said, hey, listen, currently we're going to move into it, but I'm sure with tourism being one of the biggest exports for the Caribbean, one of their biggest money makers, they're going to definitely do what they can on resort and on island as well, sanitary wise, to accept everyone that's coming down.
Okay, great. I mean, maybe we should have started with that, but for some people maybe on the line that are not familiar with the Sandals product, can you tell us a little bit where you are, where you guys are located, the amount of resorts?
So Sandals is a company we started in 1981, and I highly advise, especially now seeing everyone's at home and they have just a couple more minutes on their hands to do small stuff, and a lot of people are reading. To read the book Life's a Beach, it just goes over the history of the brand. And why I actually highlighted that book is because it shows you where the chairman is coming from. This was a person, he's Jamaican by nationality. You actually wouldn't think of it, but he has the deepest Jamaican accent, and he didn't know anything about tourism before 1981. He didn't know anything about owning a resort or anything like that. And what he saw a beautiful beach in Montego Bay. That's actually where we started off. 1981, he bought the property. And then now we have 18 beautiful properties set throughout the Caribbean. We have 8 resorts in Jamaica. We have 2 in the Bahamas. We have 1 in Turks and Caicos, being the largest throughout the brand, which is Beaches Turks and Caicos. We have 1 in Grenada, 1 in Antigua, 2 in Barbados, Royal Barbados being our newest property, which opened in 2016, and then 3 in the beautiful island of St. Lucia.
And again, we have three beaches property for families, and the rest are Sandals for
Yeah, so
adults
we
only.
have 15 Sandals properties and then 3 beaches properties, 2 of which are located in Jamaica, one being in Ocho Rios, and then the other one being in Negril. And then, as I said earlier, the largest property throughout the chain being Beaches, Turks, and Caicos.
And two of the beaches property, the one in Negril and the one in Turks and Caicos, got a little bit of a makeover earlier this year, right?
Yes. So Beaches Negro went through a full renovation, or as we at Sandals like to say, a full sandalizing. We changed everything. We actually added a few new rooms as well, added some new room names. So we did a full revamping, and I actually had a few travel advisors that have already been to the property since before the closures, and they loved it. Closures, the renovations ended in early January, so they actually got to get some guests on property beforehand, and they absolutely loved it. And then Beaches, Turks and Caicos, the Caribbean Village, we did some revamping, some small touch-ups, changing of bathroom faucets, lighting fixtures, repainting and changing of doors and stuff like that.
Right. For everyone watching on the live, if you have any questions specifically regarding Sandals or beaches, let us know, and I'll keep on asking some of the questions that I have here. But if anyone has any questions, we'll love to answer them. So for Sandals, what would you say the demographics? Who is the ideal client going and looking for a Sandals vacation?
Well, it varies per resort, because I will say all the 15 resorts are different. They have different characteristics. They offer different stuff for different type of clientele. And a lot of people won't actually know that until they actually travel to the resorts and see it for themselves. Seeing is believing. But for the most part, we actually it's between the ages of 21 to 35 and up to 45 for select properties.
Okay. And beaches is family oriented
Yes.
mostly.
So beaches is for everyone. We entertain everyone there. And it personally for me, I love the beaches brand. I don't have a family myself, but I just love seeing how happy everyone is while they're there. It's especially in Turks and Caicos, it's a huge property, and people just go there, and the 27 restaurants, they just have a blast. So I
Yeah.
love Beach as a brand itself, and I'm looking forward to where we're actually going to go next with the beaches brand, because we have 15 Sandals properties and only 3 beaches, and that's one of the questions we actually as BDMs get asked the most. Where are we going next with beaches? So we're just looking for another beaches property or a few more. I personally love one in St. Lucia and Barbados. Those 2 islands, they definitely deserve one.
Yeah, you just like Elmo, right? Or Big Bird. That's the thing.
And the thing is, the Sesame Street characters are one of the biggest highlights of each beach's resort. And a cool thing that persons can actually utilize, travel advisors can utilize for their clients, is the tuck-in Elmo, or the tuck-ins by the actual characters. Where, let's say your daughter likes Elmo, you can actually get your daughter tucked in bed by Elmo.
Right. Yeah. I think I did a fam a few years back, and it's a little awkward, but yeah, we met the characters. They sit on the bed, and I was like, oh, okay. It's nice when if you do the fam take the pictures. It works for social media and for if you have the clientele.
And
Uh,
listen, the characters, they're some real dancers. I will say, they know how to move.
I see Tony was asking if do you know if there's any plan to do like a video of the measures, everything that you've mentioned, because it's probably a very strong message right now. People
Yeah.
want the assurance. Any idea where we can get some more information, or is there any plan for a slide, some advertisement about what you guys are planning on doing?
No word on that yet, but as I said, it's developing, so I'm sure they're going to be unveiling videos and more information on this. I will say though, stay up to date on our tier portal, and that's tierportal.sandals.com. That's where you're going to get the most up to date information on everything that's going on now with the Sandals brand and the Beaches brand and the COVID-19 outbreak. So definitely make sure you're staying on top of our tier portal. We're definitely going to be unveiling a video soon, so I'm looking out for that. And once I get that, I'm definitely going to be making sure everyone gets that as well.
Yeah, and Ellen, we answered that as of right now, the properties are supposed to open June 5th,
Mhm.
except for the Bahamas one, which is scheduled for June 15th. These are right now the dates. Uh, I guess we'll just have to wait and see if it will actually happen. It depends on a lot of the islands opening, the airlines actually flying. So we'll just have to wait and see. Tammy is asking something that we kind of discussed before the meeting regarding the Jules Runaway Bay. I know again it was used to be some of the properties were used to be a Sandals. They bought by the Playa properties, and now they sold them. But you don't know if they sold them to Sandals, right?
No, currently not sure.
No.
There was
Yeah,
actually going to be.
I don't think I actually even heard that they've. I heard some rumors, but I don't know if Sandals actually really purchased them.
No,
Um, let's
no word
see.
on that yet. I know we're actually going to be moving forward. We're going to be unveiling a new island that we're moving to this year, but that's pretty much put on hold for now. So once we get more information on that, because we were looking forward to it, we love when we actually move to new destinations, since just like we did in Barbados in 2016 and Grenada in 2014. Those 2 islands are absolutely phenomenal islands. So we were actually thrilled to see that we're actually taking the brand to another destination. But as I said, it's pretty much put on hold for now.
Yeah, and Tony said that what he asked for in the video was a joke, but I actually saw a video just a few minutes ago with Delta showing and presenting how they actually clean the plane and go and have a supervisor go over each and every row to make sure. And I'll post it in the group later. I don't think it's a joke. People are. I don't know if they are concerned, but it's on their mind, and if you put it out there, they one less thing to think about and to worry about. We'll call it.
Yeah.
Um, so someone was asking, Carol was asking if you know if there's any plans to extend the expirations of the points, the Sandals points that you can earn when you're selling.
So our points to paradise have actually been extended. They're actually going to be unveiling that tomorrow. So I just gave everyone a little hint. Where that's something that's going to be unveiled to everyone tomorrow. So you actually got the news here first. So our points of paradise have been extended. I'm not sure exactly to how long. I'm sure that's going to pretty much be unveiled as well. So that's just one of the small stuff we're going to be doing for National Travel Advisors Day. And by the way, happy National Travel Advisors Day to everyone. I know it's tomorrow, but I'm telling you early.
Thank you. We're actually kind of celebrating in the group. We created a video. The first version came out this morning. The second version will come out later today. We're cultivating a culture here for our travel community. It was a really fun project to work on, and a lot of people are waiting for the second one. I'm getting tons of messages. The other one's coming out? And we actually started with group 2 instead of group 1. That kind of ticked everyone off.
I'm gonna have to take a look at that one. I'm gonna have to take a look at the first one.
I'll send it to you for sure. Some people are mentioning some issues with refunds. What's the current policy for reservations that were canceled? Changes, refunds?
So for our change fees, we've actually opted not to. We've waived the change fees completely. But for cancellations, the cancellation policies are still the exact same. So if you cancel 30 days prior to travel, you're still 50% at loss for commission or loss for the pay, and then if you travel within the final 15 days, that's a full 100% in cancellation fees. But if you cancel 31 days prior, you get 100% refund.
So I assume the main issues were for the people who the first announcement, we'll call it, because they were probably in the 30 days, and after that,
Mhm.
people. So if they had to change, until when can they change it? Like until when is the future credit good for?
It's good for 12 months.
12 months.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's good for a whole 12 months.
Okay. And if they had your insurance, would that be covered?
So our insurance, the way our insurance works there's different tiers to it. So it all depends on the actual tier that you selected or your client selected at the time of actually paying for the vacation or selecting the plan itself. So there's different tiers, as I said, through TripMate. If you have canceled for any reason, you will be getting your refund. But as I said, there's different tiers.
Okay. Got it. Let me see if there are any other questions. So the 12 months, is it from the booking date or from the original travel date?
It's from the original travel date.
Okay. So if they were supposed to go in May or June, they have until around the same date, a year from that.
Yes.
Okay. Good. Um, so they said, yeah. So according to what you said, so the deposit, it was fully refundable. That's the regular policy. Deposit
Yes.
was fully refundable, 31 days, as long as they're not within 30 days. The portion of the hotel, the deposit, is refundable.
Yes, so as long as they're 31 days out, and I also will point out too that there are a few blackout dates. One of them being around the Christmas break, and the blackout dates are subject to different policies. I think the blackout dates are 45 days before arrival.
Okay, but still not an issue for this specific situation right now, because we were not in the 45 or even 6 months period for
Yeah,
this time. And of course, for people who asked, that's only if you book directly with Sandals. If you booked with a tour operator, they might have different penalties,
yeah,
cancellation.
they also might have
This
their
is
own.
if you book directly with Sandals. Um, okay. Let me see the points. Look out for an email from your BDM, and it'll probably be updated on the portal as well
Mhm.
regarding it. It is being extended. You will get more information shortly regarding until when it was updated and extended to. Um, The over the water bungalows, they are non-refundable, right? Even the
Yes, they
deposit.
are. Yeah, they are non-refundable.
But same policy, we can reschedule for 12 months from the
Yeah,
original travel date.
as
Okay.
long as it's available, because I know those sell out very quick. So as long as it's available, definitely.
Okay. And does it have to be in the same, it doesn't have to be in the same category, is it? Or
No, you can actually change the categories. The only thing with that is any fees that will be added, you'd have to pay for those. So
so
let's say you
any if
want to
the trip
actually
is more
upgrade.
expensive, you'll have to pay more. But if it's
Yes.
yeah, okay. Yeah, makes sense. Um Going over more questions to see if there's anything. Same questions again. We answered all of them regarding opening. I'm gonna say it one last time, but everyone, if you join later, you can just view the video later. June 5th is the right now the estimate. Hopefully the opening date for all the properties except for the Bahamas properties, which are supposed to be opening in June of 15th. That's the current update. Um, any the I don't know if you still call them the Road Warriors. Is it still going on the car
Yes,
up?
it's still going on, and they're still the same processes. We haven't made any updates to the actual process itself. If the vehicle is 5 years or newer, it's just send the pictures in with the four sides. You can get the wrap only, or you can get the full contract if you have the marketing funds. To actually, we can reimburse you. I think it's up to $225 per month if you have that in your marketing funds. We reimburse you that for your vehicle. It does work differently for hosts, though. I know for the larger hosts, you'd actually have to get approval from your host agency, either the owner or the manager, for moving forward with that. And a few of the hosts have actually been cutting the process out completely, meaning you can only get the wrap only. Because the travel advisor is not the only one making the pull up for the marketing fund, so they actually just cut that process out for a lot of the larger hosts completely. But if you have the marketing funds at your disposal, definitely I definitely see the reason to utilize it, because a lot of the times the travel advisors really don't do as much shows to use the full marketing funds. So I always tell them, if you have the funds, wrap the vehicle and get the full contract.
Yeah, I had my car before this one. I had my car wrapped for about 3.5 years. It was good, and I mean, again, depends on your host. I am part of a host, but my let's say that my numbers justified, getting the credit from them because they took it out of their marketing funds. But it is possible. You just need to, if you are with a host, make sure to talk to them and see. Maybe they'll be willing. Maybe they'll do just a portion of it. Ultimately, if you're selling more sandals and promoting your brand, the host will make more money as well because they have a split. Um, there's a question regarding travel agent stays. Either using the points, what can they still book? How,
Currently, we're not taking any of those bookings right now, but I'm sure once the resorts themselves open and we're actually back to full staff in our head office in Miami, we definitely have the power to actually take on those. But currently, we're short staffed at the moment, so we're not doing any of those currently. But once everything reopens and everyone's back to work, as long as you can find the space to go, we'll definitely take you.
yeah. Again, with the follow up for the car apps, the car app itself is free. The process, putting it on, taking it off after, if you complete the contract, it takes time. Sometimes it takes a few months to actually get it approved, and then they assign someone local to wrap the car for you. The process takes a little bit of time. If you are interested in it, I know you could do it on a lease car. I did it on a lease car as well. You can do it on your own car. Just make sure that within the guidelines. You don't even need to send the pictures of the car pre. Just give them the model and the VIN. They'll find it. After that, you still need to send them pictures so they'll know that we actually wrapped the car. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was pretty easy. It took a while. It took a few months to
Mhm.
actually get it on the car. But yeah, it's a nice process. I remember I was driving my wrapped car once, I had a police officer pretty much stop me in the middle of the road, blocked me in the middle of the road. I was just a one-way street, and he just blocked me. Got out of the car, and he's like, "You sell sandals, right?" And he wanted a vacation. I was like, "Yeah, sure." But it was just it was hilarious of someone stopping you, a police car stopping you in the middle of the road, blocking the road, and he wanted to book a vacation. So
I
that was
get, believe me, I get questions every single day about my wrap vehicle. And also, if you have a vehicle that's 5 years or older, we do approve those as well. A lot of the times we do approve them. It just depends on the mileage and how the actual vehicle looks itself. If it's in pristine condition, we've seen vehicles that are 10, 12 years old get approved. It just all depends on how the vehicle looks and the mileage on the vehicle.
right. Yeah, and you can add your you can add a few things like write your agency number, agency name and phone number on the window on and a decal, and it works. It does promote sandals as well, but it's people know what you do. I've had a lot of attention when we used to go to bowl games with my son. People knew who's driving the car and what I do. I decided not to do it for the second run, but I had it for almost 4 years, and it was good. I might do it again, but again, it's not for everyone, but it has certainly has its advantages doing it. Um, okay, I'm looking into. I'm not seeing any more questions now. Normally, Sandals has a training program, right? For agent, there's a certificate,
Mhm.
full day, for almost a full day, half a day that you need to do the training. What's going on with that? Because I assumed things change a little bit.
Roy, it's only 4 hours.
It feels like a full day.
Well, yes, we normally have our CSS workshops, which we have throughout the United States. But for this year, we're actually not going to be doing any of those. I know I sent in all the paperwork for mines, all three of mines in New Jersey, and then we actually got the word that we're not going to be doing those this year. We haven't gotten any word on what we're actually be doing in place of those. So more information on that to come, but I'm sure they're going to be actually doing something, whether it be online or not sure. But yeah, for this year, we're not going to be having any CSS workshops.
And normally to qualify for any travel agent rates, travel agent FAMs, one of the qualification is to do the training, and I think selling one or two, unless there's certain right, there are certain FAMs that don't require the sales.
So
Or
it
how,
all it all depends on the actual BDM themselves. If the BDMs wanted to be a fam trip that for persons that have never sold a brand, never been to a workshop, they can do that. But in our system itself, the way it generates it, unless somebody in our inside sales teams actually changes it manually, it's set for only CSS agents. And the way to become CSS is to actually have one travel booking and attend a CSS workshop in that calendar year.
yeah, I mean, Sandals is again, depending if you consider it difficult or not difficult, all the categories, the names of the rooms. You guys have what, 16, 25 categories per property. It can get cumbersome. Again, once you get it, you'll realize that the name actually tells a story, and you know
Yeah.
exactly where it is and the view and everything. But yeah, doing the CSS the is beneficial, and you get a big book regarding
Yeah. The
uh,
the book goes over every single thing, sandals and beaches, everything. And that's pretty much what I love about the book, and what I also love about travel advisors. I always tell persons that have never used a travel advisor before, I always say, listen, half our room names, our room categories you're gonna get, believe me, you're gonna get overwhelmed when you actually go on our go to book a sandals vacation. But actually using a travel advisor, you're definitely gonna be. They know what they're doing, especially the CSS ones. They know what they're doing, and they're going to guide you in the right direction for the resort that's for you, and the room that's for you and your significant other as well.
okay. Um, Yeah, someone said that it'll be hard to have a booking this year. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. They probably will make some adjustments if needed for next year. You might need a booking on the books to qualify. I don't know. They'll figure out a way.
Yeah,
We're all in the same boat. We know what's going on. Again, I don't see FAMs coming out right now. Not until not until we figure out what's opening and what's not. We don't know about virtual training sessions as of yet. It probably will make sense to do something like this. Tevin, if there is any information regarding virtual, we would love to have it for our group. Virtual training session. I know quite a few of us would be interested in attending. So keep
yeah.
us in mind if you do hear something like that.
Oh, I definitely will. Definitely will. And for the CSS status themselves, there have been talks and possibly actually just keeping the CSS statuses as they are this year, moving them over into next year as well. But as I said, more information on that to come. I'm not currently sure. They're in the works. They're trying to see what best works for everyone here because everyone's been devastated. So once I get more information and once your local BDM gets more information, we'll definitely share that with you moving forward with our CSS, what we're going to be doing in lieu of our CSS workshops.
Okay. Do you have a preferred favorite property within your portfolio?
Yes, I do actually. Um, all right, so my personal favorite resort itself is Sandals Grenada, which was added to the brand in 2014. It's only 5 minutes away from the airport. You don't hear the planes, you don't see them. The resort itself is absolutely stunning. We just actually added 50 new rooms there recently. The resort, as I said, the resort is beautiful. I'm a diver, so I went diving on my whole experience at Sandals Grenade is always phenomenal. The GM there, he's phenomenal himself. I don't know. I just love the island of Grenada itself. Love the resort, and also St. Lucia is my favorite island itself.
Nice.
St. Lucia is phenomenal. If you've ever been to Hawaii, they call it the poor man's Hawaii because it's not as expensive as Hawaii is. And we have three properties there. Stay at one, play at three. And I think not a lot of people actually utilize the stay at one, play at three. From a lot of guests that I've spoken to a lot of to a lot of travel advisors that have been there themselves.
And there's transfers between one and the other in the evening, or
Yes. So there's transfers from 8 o'clock, I want to say, from 8 o'clock in the morning all the way up to 11. It takes you to all three properties.
similar to what's going on in Jamaica now. One of the properties was, I mean, you don't have the Sandals Inn anymore, right?
Yeah,
The
we no longer have the Sandals in for clients. It's still owned by Sandals, and actually, we recently gave it to the Jamaican government so they can host the Cuban government, the Cuban officials that flew down from Cuba to assist them with their COVID-19 outbreak. So they're actually housing the Jamaica government and also the Cuban officials that came down to assist with the COVID-19 outbreak in Jamaica. So it's still within the brand, but we're not using it as one of our resorts.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, a few people are saying that they've been to St. Lucia. They love the property. You have some some hashtags, New Jersey and Northeast, and a few are interested in the virtual training program as well. As I've mentioned again, if you that's probably going to be a good idea. A good idea to have, and I'm sure many would be interested. Um, Okay, let's see.
I love St. Lucia too. As I said, it's my favorite island, and we've actually been doing some small touch ups there. We fully renovated our bi-level suites at Sandals Regency Latak. We added the Caribbean's longest pool at Sandals Halcyon. So we've been adding a lot of stuff in St. Lucia itself. Um, More word to come on if we might be adding a new resort there. Not sure yet, but as time proceeds and everything gets back to, I can't even say normal, because there is no normal moving forward. We're not sure, but as things settle and persons can actually be able to travel, we could possibly getting a new resort.
Yeah, in a maybe a family brand type of thing, no, or no?
Fingers crossed. I need it. Believe me, I need. I don't know. I stress this so much, and a lot of my colleagues stress it. A lot of the travel advisors stress it, and also a lot of the guests that travel to our property stress it as well. They would love to see more beaches properties because we only have three now. And I personally would love to see one in St. Lucia, and I'd love to see one in Barbados as well. Those two islands would they would do so well with beaches properties.
Right. So see someone saying, "Oh, so the scoop for St. Lucia." See, I told you we'll get it out of you during the call. He said, "No, there's no way that I'm going to mention it." Uh, but
But
again,
that was actually before the St. Lucia one was actually before we're still moving to a new island. We're not sure which one yet, but for the St. Lucia one was always in the works.
right.
So we're not sure if they're actually going to be following suit with that one, so going through with it. But we have heard talks of them actually adding a new property in St. Lucia.
Good. Yeah, we're hoping to see the industry bounce back, and people will be excited about a lot of the new things, updates, upgrades. I know we haven't touched on it, but I always find, I mean, you guys have three, four main categories. You know, the deluxe, we'll call it the regular, and then the concierge club level, and then the butler service, right?
Mhm.
These are the three main levels, right, within the brand.
Yeah, so you have the luxury level or the lead in, as persons would like to say. You also have the club concierge or just club or concierge for beaches. And then we also have our butler. But I will also say there's two others right in between the club and the butler. We have the club elite and also the butler elite. These are our top tier suites, and these are at our resorts, Sandals Montego Bay and also Sandals Royal Caribbean. And for all guests that are staying in a club elite room and all guests that are staying in a butler elite room, they get their own private transfers for Sandals Royal Caribbean and Sandals Montego Bay. That's the only two resorts where club rooms actually get the private transfers.
Okay. And on the regular, the deluxe, the leading category, what aren't you getting when you're booking that?
The only thing you're not getting for that one is the in room service, and you're also not getting the top tier liquor. So you're not getting the Jack Daniels. What else aren't you getting? You're getting the Appleton rum in that one. I can't remember exactly the other rums that you aren't getting, but I know you're not getting the top shelf liquors, and you're also not getting the in room service.
So no room service, no the mini bar is not, it's not full, and there's no alcohol in the room or something like that.
Yeah, there's alcohol in the room. You're going to get the Appleton rum. You're also going to get your different wines, Robert Mondavi wines in the room, but you're just not getting the top level
Okay.
drinks,
But they
which
can
are
still get it on property.
yes, they can still get them on property. They're just not getting them in their room, and that actually brings me to another point. For all resorts across the brand, Sandals and Beaches, Beaches starting off, we actually took alcohol out of the rooms to start off with. We recently did that, so there are no alcohol in any one of the rooms. The parents actually have to fill out a few forms and actually tell us what they would like in their rooms before we deliver anything there. And we've actually moved that over to the Sandals brand as well, just stemming from what recently happened in the Dominican Republic. We actually took all the liquors outside of the room. Before you actually check in, you fill out a form of what you'd actually like delivered to your room. So you're the first person to open the room, open the drinks, and it's the first time it's actually being put in the rooms.
So you had dispensers before, right?
Repeat that.
You had dispensers, like alcohol dispensers before,
Yes.
right? They were on the wall. You could just serve yourself. But now there are closed bottles that you bring in
Yes.
when you check in.
So you're the first person to open those bottles.
Okay. Yeah, you have some highs.
Joanne!
um, okay. Yeah, I see a few requests for Island. So if you could transfer them to you are a Stewart after all. So if you could just uh, talk to the family and see what they have a few requests for islands where to open a new Sandals resort.
What are
Uh,
the any specific islands? Oh,
Aruba.
Aruba.
Sharon wants
Every
Aruba.
Believe me, every single person says Aruba.
Yeah,
Everyone always tells me Aruba.
yeah, Sharon wants Aruba. So if there is,
I'll definitely put a word in. I'll put the word in. I'll see what I can do.
someone wants local. Someone wants a Sandals in the U.S. That would be interesting. That's probably not going to happen. Uh,
It would be a little challenging. The reason being is just paying persons in the U.S. here. It's for an all inclusive. It's very challenging. All inclusive don't necessarily go well with the U.S. itself because, as I said, just paying everyone is going to be a huge cost, and then just running the overall resort itself is another expense. So
yeah. Okay, so yeah, more beaches, but yeah, well, I think most of us have gotten most of the questions out there. Um, uh, Before we summarize, yeah, something in the Florida Keys. Okay, yeah,
that would be beautiful.
people have ideas.
Yeah.
I know there is an adults only in the Florida Keys that they try to open. I think it was burned, and then it was reopened. I know having an all inclusive within the U.S. is tricky and
Yeah,
very expensive.
it's very expensive.
Yeah.
I personally love one here. Love one in Florida myself. I would love one, but it's somewhat challenging. It would be definitely challenging. And I'd also love one in the British Virgin Islands as well.
There's tons of places for more resorts that people are asking. But first, make sure that they have all. We said 18 properties, right? 15 plus
Yeah,
three. So
yeah, 15 plus 3.
first, let them go over all the 18th, and
Oh, yeah, all 18
once,
before they
once you're done with
before
it,
they move on.
we're ready. We're ready with a request for the number 19.
Yeah,
Um, Tevin, I really want to thank you for your time and coming to talking to me and to the agents. Um, we thank our suppliers that come and support us and come and talk to us, and we're hoping to show the support back when clients are ready to rebook. Keep us updated with if you do hear anything regarding, again, maybe a video or some information about the process, the points that people have mentioned, um, and if there's a new property and you hear it around the family table, just uh, just let us know.
I'll definitely keep everyone abreast. But I just hope everyone's staying safe during this challenging time. There really is no normal moving forward. Virtual is the new normal, if anything. Um, I'm definitely looking forward to getting out and seeing everyone and going back to the gym because that's one of that's where I just let loose is in the gym. But as I said, for now, we just want to stay safe, and I hope everyone's staying safe. And my condolences to anyone that has been affected by this global pandemic.
Wonderful. Some people have to go to the gym, some don't. I have an excuse now, so no problem there. But I need to go and get my yeah. I'll
Me,
probably start.
me too.
Yeah, I'll start doing these lives with a hat on in a few days.
I
Uh,
definitely should too.
yeah. Again, thank you very much, and we'll be in touch. Thank you,
Definitely
everyone.
will.
Bye and goodbye.
Happy Cinco de Mayo, everybody.
Cinco de Mayo.